The last tide. The waves lapped softly against the shore, a rhythmic whisper that should have been comforting. But tonight it felt ominous, like each wave was calling me closer, beckoning with a silent, ancient promise. The beach was deserted. Not surprising for midnight, but something about its emptiness gnawed at me. I was here because of a dare, one of those stupid things you do when you're young and need to prove yourself. My friends had chickened out, leaving me alone on the beach with a flashlight and the lingering taste of beer on my tongue. They'd laughed, called me brave, told me to spend an hour out here in the dark. No phone, just myself and the waves. As I settled on the cold sand, I noticed the fog rolling in, thick and dense, creeping over the water and swallowing everything in its path. Soon I could barely see my own feet. I wasn't nervous at first. I'd been to this beach 100 times. I knew every rock, every twist of the shore, or so I thought. The fog wrapped around me, chilling the air and muffling the sound of the waves. I felt isolated. It was unsettling, like someone had drawn a curtain around me, cutting me off from the rest of the world. I tightened my grip on the flashlight and clicked it on, slicing a narrow beam through the mist. That's when I saw her. She was standing at the edge of the water, her back to me, dressed in something flowing and dark. Her hair was tangled, hanging in wet strands that clung to her neck. I hadn't heard her approach, hadn't seen her walk up. She was just there, as if the sea had breathed her out. "Hello?" I called out, my voice barely louder than a whisper. She didn't respond, didn't move. I took a step closer, squinting into the fog. The light from my flashlight danced across her figure, and for a moment I thought I saw the water passing through her feet. I shook my head, blaming the fog for playing tricks on my eyes. "Are you okay?" I tried again, louder this time. Still, nothing. As I got closer, I noticed something odd. The air around her seemed colder, like a pocket of winter in the middle of summer. I shivered, my breath forming misty clouds in front of me. That's when she finally moved. She tilted her head slowly, almost mechanically, as if she hadn't turned it in a very long time. Her face came into view, pale and expressionless, eyes wide and dark. But they weren't looking at me, they were looking through me, like I was barely there. An icy chill shot down my spine as she took a step forward, her bare feet gliding over the sand without leaving a mark. I stumbled back, heart pounding, as a sudden, suffocating fear took hold. It was like she was drawing me in, pulling me closer without lifting a finger. I backed away, faster now, my flashlight flickering as if struggling to keep her in sight. She took another step, and another, each one smoother, more fluid than the last. Her lips parted, just enough for a faint, chilling whisper to reach me. "Help me!" The words were barely audible, like a breeze over broken glass, but they rooted me to the spot. I opened my mouth to speak, but nothing came out. I was frozen, locked in place by her gaze, by those empty, haunted eyes. Then, as quickly as she had appeared, she began to fade. Her body dissolved into the fog, tendrils of mist curling around her form until there was nothing left but the cold emptiness she'd left behind. I stood there, heart racing, my skin prickling with the unmistakable sense that I was being watched. I didn't wait for her to return. I turned and sprinted back up the beach, the sand slipping under my feet as I ran, faster and faster, until I burst onto the road, panting and shivering. When I glanced back at the shore, the fog was gone. The beach was silent and empty, just as it had been before. But as I made my way home, the chill stayed with me, and I could still hear her voice, faint and distant, carried on the wind. "Help me." I haven't gone back to that beach since, and sometimes late at night, I wonder if she's still there, waiting for someone else to hear her call.